Lamar.
Happy Friday, everybody. I know my videos have been all over the place. I've been recording them and not uploading them. But y'all know who Bishop Lamar Whitehead is? I just remember his name because, I did a video on my theory about offenders or perpetrators or terrorists who have three names like John Wayne Gacy, right? The three named people. So Bishop Lamar Whitehead, I always remember three named people. So he first came up on our radar because maybe a year or some change ago, he streams his church. So Bishop, right? He calls himself a bishop. He's a man of the cloth. Saying he's a man of the cloth gave me a frog in my throat. Because, I don't tell no lies, but, that's what the man called himself. I didn't call him no bishop. He said he, see? Oh, my God. The man changed his name to Muhammad Ali. I'm going to call him Muhammad Ali. His mama named him Cassius. I'm going to call him Cassius. The man say he a bishop, right? Bishop Lamar Whitehead out of Brooklyn, New York, live streams his church services, and apparently he was robbed at gunpoint while live streaming. And that caused, oh my God, let me tell you something. Primary parents, women who work and got children and who pretty much make all the decision fatigue is real. Okay? Like, my brain this week is wonky. Okay? I'm overloaded. My CPU is full, bitch. So, but anyway, was it national? I want to say it's national because other bloggers and podcasters I listen to in different parts of the country, like Texas and Florida, they talked about it. So I'm going to talk about national. Even TGIF on Fox Soul, when Funky Dineva was on there with Al Reynolds and Claudia Jordan, they even talked about it. So I'm going to say national, but he's from New York, right? By way of Brooklyn. And I believe, I'm going based on memory, I don't got no notes, his church was a storefront out in Canarsie on a main street. Like, there's it's not like a side street in Canarsie. I'm not sure if you guys know about Canarsie, Brooklyn, but it's very residential, and pretty much the businesses and stuff are on a few select streets and they're storefronts. So his church was on a storefront next to a goddamn like laundromat and a bodega type shit. And it's like laundromat, church, bodega, very storefront with the old awning. Probably they just put up a piece of vinyl with the name of the church. And then people started researching him and his going-ons because of what happened. And a whole bunch of shit was dug up about how he stole the church from somebody, pretty much locked out the people, took the money. I think I did a video on it. Yeah, I did. I'm going to put the link to my Bishop Whitehead video of all the shit that he did once he got this national attention for being robbed during streaming one of his sessions. I don't know what to call it. So anyway, he's a convicted felon before all of this happened and spent a lot of time in jail, and really boast about his personal relationship with the mayor, Eric Adams, even going on so far as to call him his mentor. That Mayor Adams, New York City Mayor Adams, was his mentor. Now, if y'all don't know, Mayor Adams is a retired police officer, but before that, he was definitely in the gangs of Brooklyn. So it's pretty much oh my God. Jeez, these roads are so bad. Everywhere they got so worse. But that's New York for you. Pretty much who's that judge? That judge that called everybody a crackhead. Oh my God. See, my mental fatigue. I'm usually like this. Anyway, it's pretty much that judge story. God, what is his name? It's gonna bother me. Greg Mathis. I had to pause. That's why it's a little glitchy. Judge Greg Mathis. So Judge Greg Mathis was in the criminal lifestyle, changed his life around, and had a long running TV show as a TV judge, right? So him and Eric Adams is pretty much the same thing, was in like the life, doing bad stuff, turned his life around, became a police officer. I think he made it all the way up to detective, retired, became like a councilman and a local politician, and now this is his first term as mayor. So it's not uncommon for him to have known Bishop Whitehead um, during their goings ons and running around on the streets of Brooklyn. And yes, I could see Adams mentoring him, and that's how Whitehead was able to get not deified. What do whatever he needed to do academically and certificationally wise, so he say, to become this bishop and be a church leader. But anyway, that's not why he's going to jail. He's going to jail um for up to 45 years. Now we don't have to say allegedly no anymore, because my prior video was full of allegedly, because he wasn't convicted or nothing, but he convicted. So according to our judicial system, you are found guilty. So no more allegedly, for scamming and robbing people. And not robbing at gunpoint, like really offering them these things as far as um, helping them purchase homes and shit like that, and stealing the money. And I think like stealing the information or whatever. I don't care. Anyway, the man's guilty. He's going 45 years. But I really want to talk about how this happened, because it wasn't one victim. It wasn't two victims. It was multiple victims, and they're black. And I want to say that I did some self-reflection, and me being a big fat black juicy atheist is definitely riddled in the fact that I don't seek hope for anything, and that my life is as such that I don't aspire to hope for something better, because my Mecca or my heaven is right now, talking to y'all, driving to work. This is it for me. I don't strive or to attain for something greater than I already have. I heard this mantra before I even became a mother, and I said it, I'm going to live my life like this. And if I ever become a mother, I'm definitely going to say it. It's from Pinkalicious. You get what you get and you don't get upset. That shit is poetic to me. You get what you get and you don't get upset. And I pretty much have lived my life with, you get what you get and you don't get upset. Even when I have made my peace, when that uninformed, cis-het, white Caucasian male told me that I was barren. Barren. Not I was struggling with infertility or not infertile. Barren. Okay, because he was old. Barren. That's what that man told me. Because I had PCOS, it told me I was barren. Okay? So, you get what you get and you don't get upset. But that does not mean that you take whatever you need to take laying down. You do whatever you have to do. You try for as long as you can without compromising who you are or losing yourself. So, like everything else I do, I said, let me go get a second opinion. Because maybe he was absent on female reproductive system day from medical school, but he had enough to graduate. Because you don't have to be an A+ student, right? You don't have to be an A+ student to graduate from medical school. Sorry, I'm making an executive decision and my GPS is telling me to go somewhere different, but I don't want to deal with all of that. You don't have to be an A+ student and know everything to graduate from medical school. The A plus students valedictorian get the same diplomas as the C minus student or the C student. So I needed to get a second opinion because maybe he caught the Spanish flu because that's how fucking old he was. Maybe he caught the Spanish flu during female reproductive health day, and they just, he was able to pass because he did extra makeup work on male anatomy and how to fix erectile dysfunction instead of fixing, I don't know, all the other more important shit that we got going on. But he did an extracurricular research study on how niggas in their 60s could keep their dick hard so they could fuck prepubescent. Oh, I'm sorry, scratch that. So they could fuck barely legal bitches that they find on the porn sites that they look for. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so I went and got a second opinion and proceeded with fertility treatments, but all the while having this mantra of you get what you get and you don't get upset, and just knowing that if it doesn't work out for me, it doesn't work out for me. I am fulfilled in other parts of my life. And I think I take that with a grain of salt because the religious people would say it was God's will and stuff like that. And the atheist scientist in me was saying, maybe with all of these exes against me, keeping my stress level to a minimum, keeping my anxiety and stress level to a minimum, losing some weight, and the aid of medicine, modern medicine, and a doctor is why I got pregnant. But let's go back to religion. And when having the mindset of being an atheist and then not trying to look for something better all the time is definitely under the umbrella of affluence, having, not being without, not being poor. I am astute to know that, because who knows where my mindset would be, or if I ever felt this way, if I was scraping and trying to make ends meet. If I was sitting up late at night while my children slept, crying over paperwork, holding my checkbook, trying to pay a little bit on this thing so it don't get cut off, or paying a little bit, I might believe in God. It's not uncommon to realize or put together that when you have experienced trauma or poverty, extreme poverty or traumas, that you attain or look for something better than this. And that's where God and religion fits in. Because my life on earth is not that great. I'm struggling, I'm stressed out. There has to be a Mecca. There has to be something better. Heaven, let me just suffer it out here and worship and idolize this deity that I have been conditioned to believe because it has been passed on to me, or if it's not, I've been proselytized into believing so, or the missionaries came to my town in a third world country and showed me that Jesus is the way. All of that going on, right? I might believe, but I count myself lucky. I say this all the time. I am the norm in my bubble. I live in a bubble. It is the norm. I drive to work. I don't have to battle it out on public transportation and squeeze myself into a tin can and commute. I drive to work. I don't have to get to work and drive around looking for street parking. I have my own assigned parking space. I come home to a house. I have one of each child. I have a boy and I have a girl. There is no attainment for me to try to strive to get that other gender. I don't have these things to fetishize over. I'm married. I'm heterosexual. I don't strive to be a white woman, although I do really would like to get the the privilege that comes with being a white woman. I don't want to be a white woman. There's no need for me to bleach my skin. If anything, I do have a little bit of that. That my pigment isn't stronger, my melanin isn't richer, and my children's melanin isn't richer. If anything, I have reverse colorism because I don't like the light skin. It's not attractive to me. But I do understand that my freedom not to have to look for something better is covered in privilege. So I say this to say that I don't fault the victims for being victims to Bishop Lamore Whitehead. However, somebody like me, he could never scam. He could not scam somebody like me, but he could scam somebody at a lower socioeconomic financial status, less education, less privilege, less access, seeking hope. And what he did was banked on the hope that these people have that take the bus to his storefront church as he pulls up in a double R in Canarsie, Brooklyn, dripped from bootleg Gucci, Fendi, and Prada. Because people said those suits was Gucci, counterfeit or whatever, they were fake. But even if they were fake, they're still a couple of $100s because they're tailored. So they might not be thousands of dollars, but those bootleg suits were still hundreds of dollars. And he did pull up in a double R. So what drives you to take the bus after you work 6 days a week? Because you tell them, I can't work on Sunday. Sunday's for the Lord. But you do that overtime on Saturday on your feet. You're probably working food service or CNA. You're on your feet. You get up in the morning. You put on your Sunday's best. You put on the good wig. And you take the bus in all 4 seasons to this man's storefront church. And you give him your last. Because you were taught that tithing is what you need to do to get entry into heaven. And let me tell you something. This is my personal opinion. And although I do not believe in the church as far as religion, I believe in the organization and the potential. And no, I don't think all churches are bad. I do think churches do a lot of good. I'm all for meeting up and organizing. I'm not for, and even I'm not even against religion. I'm really not. I'm not. I'm smart enough to know that a few bad apples don't spoil the bunch. And for a lot of people, religion is therapy. I go talk to a man that I pay a $50 copay to every week. I go sit in my car and do a virtual with him every week, and that's my therapy. And I understand for many, going to church is a form of therapy and refuge and a reset for the week. I'm not even against religion or going to church. What I'm against is the proselytizing, which I say all the time. If it's not for me, it's not for me. All the hate and vitriol and stuff that comes from it, that's what I got a problem with. And the fact that you can't be friends with me or even family with me or even that because I feel some type of way. And I freely express my non-belief in God the same way you freely express your belief in God. I don't understand how you're so comfortable to pray in your home when there's a meal, and I will respectfully bow my head because this is your home, but I'm not praying. But when I say, please don't do that in my house, it becomes an argument. It becomes a problem because I don't want it in my home or I don't want it around me, but I allow you the grace and the freedom to express your belief, but I can't express my non. That's the problem I have, not the religion itself and not the people, but I tithe. I do tithe. You know how I tithe? When I see somebody with a sign, I'll give them money. Not recently. I haven't done it recently because a couple years ago when you were rolling down your window, they was fucking knocking you upside the head with a blicky and robbing you and pulling you out your car. So I haven't done that in a long time. But GoFundMe, my GoFundMe. Okay, you need money to take a trip, take kids to Poland? I got you. You having a baby shower? Let me get your registry. I got you. I saw some boys when I went to go get money at the bank. I saw some boys trying to raise money for a local high school baseball team because their school district is not really funding the sports like that. They wanted new uniforms because they made it to like county or state or something. They wanted new uniforms and they were selling Snickers 2 for $5. Not $1, 2 for $5. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm saying 2 for $5. That would have been a great 2 for $10. 2 for $10. Sorry, not 2 for $5. 2 for $10. I gave him $20 and I said, keep the Snickers because my fat ass is just going to eat it. My kids don't need to eat it. I gave him $20 and I said, keep the Snickers. And I said, good luck to your team. That's how I tied. I'm not giving no nigga who pulled up in a double R with a storefront church, driving a double R with bootleg $100, $200 tailored suits, my last $40. But I also have the privilege not to be seeking the hope. So I don't blame the victims. I will never blame the victim because I'm not walking in your shoes and I have no idea if I would change my feeling if I was struggling. Right now, I'm not struggling. All of that shit could change tomorrow. All of that could change tomorrow. But I'm not seeking anything better because my Mecca is right now with you guys. Bye.